3 weeks before the wedding, Nadia had been Claire's best friend for 11 years. She was the maid of honor. She had helped pick the dress. She had given a toast at the engagement dinner. For 7 months, she had also been sleeping with the groom. Claire did not discover this by confronting anyone. She did not hire a detective. She did not go looking. The truth arrived in a text message, sent to the wrong person. At 11:47 on a Tuesday night, what happened next became the most talked about story in their entire social circle, and it is still talked about today. This is the story of Claire, Nadia, and a betrayal that had been hiding in plain sight for 7 months. Claire was 29 years old. She taught 3rd grade at a public elementary school in Nashville, Tennessee. By every measure, her life was exactly where she had hoped it would be. She had been with Derek for 3 years. He proposed in October, a quiet dinner, just the two of them. No crowd, no cameras. She said yes before he finished the sentence. The wedding was set for the first Saturday of April. 112 guests, a venue they had saved for, a dress she had found on the 4th try, and standing beside her at every step was Nadia. The two women had met in college. Nadia was the louder one. Claire was the steady one. They balanced each other perfectly, or so it seemed. Nadia was the first person Claire called when Derek proposed. She was the one who organized the engagement dinner. She gave a speech that night that made half the room cry. She was, by every definition, Claire's person. Derek and Nadia had always gotten along. Claire considered that one of her quiet blessings, that the man she loved and the friend she loved most had never clashed. She thought that was a sign of something good. She was right, just not in the way she believed. Betrayals rarely arrive all at once. They leak in small things, things you explain away. For Claire, the first thing was a comment. At a dress fitting in February, 7 weeks before the wedding, Nadia mentioned the venue by a detail she should not have known. The florist arrangement, a specific corner. Claire had only discussed it with Derek. She thought nothing of it. Derek must have mentioned it. The second thing was a weekend. Derek had told Claire he was in Chicago for a work conference. 2 nights. He sent her a photo of the hotel bar. Nadia that same weekend had told Claire she was visiting her mother. Claire had tried to call Nadia both nights. No answer. Both times. She explained that away too. The third thing was smaller still. A perfume. A scent on Derek's jacket when he came home from a gym session. It was not Claire's, and it was familiar. She did not place it immediately. It came to her 3 days later, standing in Nadia's apartment. She told herself she was imagining things. She was not imagining things. On a Tuesday evening in mid-March, 22 days before the wedding, Priya received a text message. Priya was the 4th person in their group, a mutual friend. Quieter than Nadia, closer to Claire. The message was from Nadia. It read, "I can't keep doing this. I need to know what we're going to do before the wedding. You know I love you. I can't watch you marry her." Priya stared at that message for 4 minutes. She knew immediately what it meant. She also knew what it would cost to send it to Claire. Nadia realized her mistake within seconds. She sent a follow-up. "Ignore that. Wrong person. Don't read into it." Then she sent a third message. "Please." Priya did not respond. She sat with her phone in her lap for a long time. And then, after 2 hours of silence, she called Claire. She read both messages word for word. Claire did not speak for a long time. Then she said, "How long have you known?" Priya said, "I just found out. Same as you." Claire thanked her, ended the call, and spent the next 47 minutes completely alone. What Claire did next is the part that people in her social circle still talk about. She did not call Derek. She did not call Nadia. She did not show up at anyone's door. She opened a notebook, and she started writing. She wrote down every moment that had felt slightly wrong. The dress-fitting comment, the Chicago weekend, the perfume. She wrote the timeline. She wrote dates. She went back through her phone. She found a photo from New Year's Eve, 4 months earlier, that she had never paid close attention to. In the background, behind the group, Derek's hand rested on Nadia's lower back. Not accidentally. Not briefly. She zoomed in. She screenshotted it. She sent it to her own email with the date and a note. Then she called a lawyer. Not a friend. Not her mother. A lawyer. She had the consultation the next morning. She wanted to know exactly what her rights were before she said a single word to either of them. That decision, that 47 minutes of silence before a single call, defined everything that came after. Four days later, Claire asked Derek and Nadia to meet her. She told them she wanted to discuss the seating chart. A problem had come up. She needed them both. They arrived at her apartment separately. That told her something. Claire had placed her phone on the kitchen counter. Recording. She waited until they were both seated. Then she placed her open notebook on the table, the one with the timeline. She said, "I know. I've known for 4 days. I've spoken to a lawyer, and I want you both to hear what I'm going to say without interrupting me." Nadia started to speak. Claire raised one hand. "The wedding is cancelled. I've already notified the venue." She had. She had made the call that morning. The deposits are non-refundable. That is approximately $9,400. Derek, that is your half to account for, in writing, by the end of the week. She slid a printed document across the table. This is not a conversation. This is a notification. Neither of them spoke. Nadia tried to say something about how this had just happened, that it was complicated. Claire looked at her for a long moment. Then she said, 7 months is not complicated. 7 months is a choice, made over and over and over again. She picked up her phone, stopped the recording, and asked them both to leave her apartment. They left. Claire did not post about it. She did not send a group message. She did not call their mutual friends with a story. She did not need to. Priya already knew. And Priya, quietly, honestly, over the following 2 weeks, told the people who deserved to know the truth. Bridesmaids found out. The wedding party found out. The social circle, slowly, completely, found out. Nadia lost her role as maid of honor, naturally. But she also lost something harder to name. The version of herself that people had trusted. Because once one person in a group knows the shape of what you did, the rest begin to reread every moment they shared with you. And they did. Derek moved out of their shared apartment within a month. He signed the financial acknowledgement on the cancelled deposits, in writing. by the deadline she had given him. He and Nadia did not stay together. They lasted 11 weeks. Claire took a long weekend in May. She went to the Smoky Mountains alone. She hiked a trail she had always wanted to try. She posted one photo. No caption, just the view. Her followers, people who knew nothing about what had happened, commented that she looked peaceful. She was. The revenge in this story was not loud. There was no public post, no dramatic expose, no revenge plot that required months of planning. The revenge was a lawyer's consultation, a notebook with a timeline, a single recorded conversation, a deadline met in writing. Claire did not burn anything down. She simply refused to let the fire touch her any longer. And that, in the end, was enough. If you have watched this far, you already know what you would have done. Tell us in the comments, was Claire's response the right one? Or would you have handled it differently? If this story hit you the way it was meant to, give it a like. It helps more people find this channel. Subscribe to Smoke and Betrayal. New stories drop every week, and the next one is worse than this one.